Recording right now. So if you have to jump off at any particular time, I will upload the replay so you can see that. But it's great that you're on live with me because I'm going to be able to answer all of your questions too. So good morning, happy Saturday, and happy almost New Year. Just a few logistics on Zoom for those of you that have not been on the Zoom platform before. I wanted to tell you about a few little quick features. So there's a chat box you'll notice, and you can at any time type a question there. And me and Liana, who is also on, will be able to scroll and see that. So just know that that's available to you if you don't want to talk but you want to type a question, that's there. Also, notice that on the bottom of your screen, if you're on a laptop, there's a video sign, so you can be on or off video. I love it if you are open to being on video, as that way I can actually see your face, like we're sitting together here, and it's amazing. So would love it if you are open to being on video so I can see you. And then you can play with speaker view or class view so you can see just who's talking or see the whole group, however you want to do it. Let's see. The next thing is I'm going to mute everybody. So I've muted everybody, but at any time if I call on you or you have a question and you raise your hand, you can unmute yourself, and you'll do that by hovering over your image and just clicking unmute, and that allows me to hear you. And then on a phone, it's a little bit different, but at least if you're on your laptop and you're on video, that's how that will work. So those are just some logistics with Zoom. So, okay. Any questions before I start on how to work this? Just raise your hand and I can address that. Okay, and there's also, aside from physically raising your hand, you can hover over and press raise hand, and it will raise your hand for you. So there's that option too. Okay, so let's get started. So hang on, let me mute everybody. Continue. As people jump on, the muting could come undone. So first and foremost, I want to, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Natalie Gell. I'm a licensed master sports nutritionist and a functional fitness trainer, and I kill fat for a living. And I say that because it's not just the fat on our bodies, although many of you know me from fitness and nutrition, but it's what I call false assumed truths. It's those beliefs that we create in our mind that hold us back from achieving massive goals. And this gets richer as we get older. So we might have belief sets as a kid or as a teenager in our 20s and 30s, but as we get into our 40s and 50s, those beliefs start to really stick. So if we think we're big bone, for instance, and we, for years and years, believe that we're big boned, when we approach 50, 60, it's like a sealed thing, and we believe it to be true. So I call it a false assumed truth because it's something that we've started to believe. And it's not necessarily factual based. It's just something that we have believed, and we've had others validate that belief over time. So that's why I call it a false assumed truth. Now, although many of you know me for fitness and nutrition, my focus has somewhat evolved to really wanting to focus on women in their 40s and 50s. It doesn't mean I can't help you if you're in your 30s or 20s or 80s. That's just because specifically I'm 47 years old, and as I'm going through changes and learning things and what I'm researching, I love to share. So for women close to my age, it tends to work really well because we're going through the same thing. So I get you. I understand you. I've got friends like you. I've got all my clients like you. And that's why I directly want to talk with you for the most part. So my question first and foremost, and if you don't have a piece of paper and a pen, I'm going to ask you to grab it because you're going to want to be writing during this. So go ahead and grab that. You won't miss much while I ask this question. But grab a piece of some paper and a pen so you can journal and write. But I want to just have you agree right now, and I'm sure you will agree on this, that basically, if things were easy, if we could just snap our fingers and hit a goal, that we would have had that happen, right? If it was super easy to be the size that we wanted to be, or make the income that we wanted, or be in the life that we wanted, if it was like super easy, we would have that right now. I mean, raise your hand if you agree. If it was just easy, it would happen. It's not that because it's not that you guys aren't intelligent. I mean, you know what to do. I mean, everybody knows like what to do theoretically to lose weight or to make more money or to save or to be in a happy relationship. Like we know textbook what to do bullet wise, but there's so much more to that, right? I mean, it's obvious, like if you're smart, you know generally what a healthy food is. You know generally what moving your body is. You know how to save or how to invest in the right things. You know that stuff. But there's more than that. There's so much more than that. And that's what I want to speak into today, because if we can start to shift this thinking, if we can start thinking like, okay, maybe it's more than it just being, a simple process. Maybe there was a different way of thinking, then we can start to get massive results. So that's what I wanted to cover today. I'm going to show you a different way of thinking. And what I'm about to show you has helped so many women. I've helped thousands of women with this, in this shift. And we're going to be getting a lot into changing your state. That doesn't mean I won't answer your nutrition and fitness questions on this class. I will at the end, but I want to be clear that I'm going to be talking about a different way of thinking, not just workouts and nutrition throughout this, okay? This is a different way of thinking. So if you're here just for workout and nutrition, just giving you the forewarning, this might not be the class for you right now. I'm going to talk about a different method, because what you know about workouts and nutrition has gotten you to where you are right now. Okay, so if you have your paper and your pen, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I want you to write it down. I'm not going to see this. This is for you. But I want to get really real right now with where you're starting from right now today. And I'm asking this because if you were sitting in front of me and you were a weight loss client, for instance, the first thing we'd have to do is get really real with what do you weigh, what are your measurements, what are your size, what's your size, let's take pictures, let's see what you look like. We'd have to have a reality check first. I'm sure many of you have done that before. We have to have a reality check. If I was your financial planner and you were sitting with me and you had a goal for retirement, we'd have to get really real with where are you right now? Like, where are your finances right now? What's in your savings? What are your spending habits? I'd have to ask you those questions. Or if you were looking for a new job, you were unhappy in your job, we'd have to get really real with where are you right now, right? We have to face that music. What tends to happen is we don't face the music. We just know we're unhappy, but we don't want to actually take a hard look at where are we starting from. And if we're not really clear on where we're starting from, it's very hard to shift and go to another place. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and maybe these questions resonate for you. Maybe they don't. If they do, write them down. And if they don't, you can go and write down exactly where you are personally, okay? So my first question is, do you feel a little bit overweight? Or do you feel a lot overweight? Write it down. And write it in first person, like I feel, use the word that it is. I feel fat. I feel sloppy. I feel chubby. I feel, whatever that is. Maybe it's, I feel like I could be a little tighter, whatever it is, but write it down. But be real with yourself. We're not real with ourselves. I feel gross. I feel chubby, whatever that is, write it down. I'm not going to see this. This is for you. Okay. Do you feel like, and I use this phrase, but like the ship has sailed. And I say that because in our 40s and 50s, I know many of you can relate to that feeling like, gosh, my time has passed. Like, do you feel like my time has passed? I had my chance. I was there in my 30s. I had my time in my 20s. Do you feel that way? Write that down if you do. Do you feel low on energy or exhausted, tired, beat up, fatigued? Be real with it. Like, what is it that you feel? How are you feeling? Do you feel that it's too late? That's a big question. Like, do you feel it's too late? Do you make excuses and validate them? Like, do you say things like, I'm 55, I'm supposed to feel bad? And I'm asking you that because I want to get clear on the self-talk. Like, are we telling ourselves these things? Like, I'm supposed to feel bad. I'm supposed to look like this. I'm not supposed to care. Do you make excuses? You're not going to share this part with me. This is for you, but like, get real. Like, you know what an excuse is. Do you make excuses? I'm tired. It's too late. I hurt. I've tried everything. Nobody understands me. I don't have the money. Do you make excuses? Do you feel that you have let yourself go? Are you disappointed with yourself? Do you feel like you let yourself go? This is a big one, so think about this one. Do you feel that you're hiding from how you really feel? Like, do you feel fake? I can share, I've definitely had those moments where I felt fake. Like, I feel like I'm supposed to look like I have it all together. I'm supposed to look like this, so I can't really share how I'm feeling. So now I'm gonna isolate and hide. Do you feel that way? Do you feel that you're living in the past? Like, I used to be this. Like, do you find yourself at a party or, you know, talking to somebody like, well, back in high school, I was this. I was a cheerleader. Back in my 20s, I was like a rock star at this. Do you find yourself living in the past? When I was young, I had this. Do you feel those things? Do you feel like you're hiding the truth? Like, gosh, if people knew this about me, and let me give you some examples of this. And again, this is for you. I just want a reality check. Like, are you drinking at night to hide how you feel? Are you, you know, drugging yourself, illegal or prescription? Like, are you taking a Xanax every night so you can shut your head off and hide how you feel? I'm not judging, by the way. I'm just asking you these questions so you can have a reality check of where you are. Self-medicating is a big thing. So I just want you to be real with yourself if that's something you're doing. And please be honest. This is your chance, because I want to help you throughout this call and with what I do. But the more honest you can be with yourself, the more I can help you with this, okay? So I want you to have this reflection. Now, when I take you through these exercises today, we're only together for about an hour today. You're going to be able to elaborate on this later. So it's the more you can journal now and leave space for yourself so you can go back and reflect, it's going to help you. But one thing that we tend to do as a whole is we tend to not take a hard look at ourselves, and instead we blame, we make excuses, and we self-soothe by medicating, ignoring, sleeping, whatever it is. So that's why I want to have you do this so you can have a really hard look in the mirror right now, like what's going on. Because if we can't take some kind of responsibility from where we're starting, it's very hard to change and grow. People can't do things for you. You have to be able to take some accountability in it. Okay? Okay, now I want you to I either want you to turn the page or turn it over or start something new so it's separate from where you've just written, okay? Because I'm going to take you in a different direction. I want to ask you, where do you actually want to go? Like, where do you really want to go? So I'm going to ask you some questions to prompt this, because this is the other thing. Whenever I asked a client, I know when I've had my breakthrough weekends, which I'm going to share about that later at the end of this call, but when I've had my breakthrough weekends and we're all sitting here, and I've had 3 of these so far with groups of women, and I say, the first question I say is, what do you want for yourself? The first question that comes up from almost everybody is, I don't know. I don't know. I say, okay, what does that mean? I say, I just want to be happy. Okay? But that's not a vision of where we want to go. So I'm going to help prompt you a little bit with this right now so we can start to get this clear. Because if I don't know where you want to go, if you don't know where you want to go, it's very difficult to get there. So what I want you to write down and where I want you to answer is, where do you want to be and how do you want to feel? So just take a few seconds, a few moments, like, where do I want to be? How do I really want to feel? And again, this is private for you. So be brutally honest. Like, I want to feel hot. I want to feel sexy. I want to feel confident. I want to feel like vibrant again. I want to feel relevant. I want to feel like an authority. I want to be cool. I want people to want to ask me what I'm doing. Nobody's judging. Nobody's watching what you're writing right now. So this is the other thing. We tend to tell people, oh, I don't really want that. No, what do you really want? I'm gonna be real. At 47 years old, I love when people say, you're 47, they're shocked. I love it. I get a high off of that. Right or wrong, it makes me feel good. Maybe you want that, maybe you don't, but write it down. I see a few people with hands up. I'm gonna take questions, but not quite right now. I wanna stay on this process, and I promise I will take a chance to ask questions. If you've got something kind of like urgent, type it in the comments so I can see that, because I am monitoring that as well. Okay. So how do you really wanna feel? What do you wanna be? Be brutally, if you could just like be anything, like, I don't know, who is that? What do you wanna feel? What do you wanna be? So I'm gonna give you some more questions to ask that I'm gonna ask, and then you can, maybe these stick, maybe they don't, but like, do you wanna feel confident? Do you wanna feel relevant? Do you wanna feel cute? Trendy? Hot? Whatever your word is. Not what does someone think you should feel, what do you want to feel? Do you wanna have fun? Somehow we lose fun as we get older. Do you wanna have fun, like ridiculous fun? Do you wanna feel attractive? Do you wanna feel authentic, like you can be yourself? At my second breakthrough weekend, we stopped on one of our walks and we went to a park, like a kids park. Like here we are, like 16 adults, like walking into this kids park. And everyone's kind of like, what are we doing here? I see two of you on that were at that breakthrough, or one of you on that was at that breakthrough. And I said, we're gonna play at the park. And everyone kind of looked at me like I was crazy. And if you have done this as an adult, it was like one of the funnest freeing moments to be swinging on a swing set. Like, why as adults do we let that go? Like, just to be a kid again and have fun and be silly and laugh. Do you want to feel like you're enough? Like you are enough. Like you don't have to impress anyone. You don't have to be anything. You are happy in your own skin and you're enough. Do you want to feel like you're in control and you run the day? A lot of times I talk to women that like, where does my time go? Where does my day go? I feel like I'm helping everybody else and not myself. Do you want to feel like that? Do you want to feel confident and inspiring? Not as you are right now. So so stop your head from going, I can't do that. If you could be everything you wanted, do you want to feel confident and inspiring? When you show up on a date, maybe you're single and you're dating, or maybe it's with your husband, or maybe it's just with girlfriends. When you show up, how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel good about yourself? Do you want to feel like you are on fire, like you've never felt better? How do you want to feel? We spend so much time trying to make excuses for how we feel and justifying and telling people we don't really want to feel a way, that we don't take this time to really think about what it is that we want. Okay, now I want you to pretend that this is the best year of your life. Like 2019 is going to be the best year of your life. We're like literally standing at the end of 2019. This is like end of December, a year from now. This is the best year of your whole flipping life. I want you to write down, who are you right now at the end of the year? You're like, standing here, you're on this call going, Natalie, this is the best flipping year of my life. I weigh this, I feel this, this happened. My relationship is a 10. I doubled my income. What is that a year from now? And I want to point out that in the last 20 minutes on this call, you've probably thought more about yourself, like really thought, than you probably have all year, like in a really serious way. So just notice that we take time for everyone else, but not ourselves like this. So just write that out for a moment. I'm going to give you just a minute to write that out. because I'm going to add some questions to that. The next question I want you to ask with who you are at the end of this year, is how does that feel? Give it like 1 or 2 words. Like, how does that feel if you were to sum it up in 1 or 2 words? What emotion do you put to that? Okay, the next question I'm going to ask you, this is a little bit harder. I'm going to just put that out there because we get stuck on this. But you just wrote out exactly what it is that you want a year from now. Is there anybody, first of all, is there anybody that is open to sharing so I can kind of coach live with this, what they wrote out that they want to feel? Raise your hand if you are. If not, I'll do it without that. But I think it's a good opportunity. I can help you through this. If you're open to sharing, raise your hand. Daniel, hi.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How about yourself?
Good. You open to sharing?
I am on the last thing, yes.
Okay. Tell me what you said.
I said how I wish to feel a year from now. I say I want to feel great, look good, and have my energy back. Feel incredible with happiness and peace.
Got it. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna ask you some questions, and I want you to like drop in your heart with this if you can. Okay. I know it's hard. Get out of your head. But I want you to drop in your heart. I want to know, why do you want that?
I guess it goes back to some of the other questions you were asking about do it feel it's too late? And, I want to seize the moment and not guess, try to make it happen. If it works, great, but if not, at least I tried.
I'm going to stop you right there. See, we do that. We say, if it works, great, but if not, it's okay. Why do we do that? I'm going to tell you why we do that. We do that because it protects us from having to reach for something. So we're going to not do that anymore. Okay, so I'm going to interrupt you on that. I'm going to interrupt you when we do it again. So let's try that again. Why do you want it? Not why won't it work, or what if you just try? Why do you want it? What would it mean to you if all that happened at the end of the year?
I would have a lot more peace in my heart and less pain in my body.
You'd be peaceful and pain-free?
Yes.
And what would that mean for you?
A lot more happiness.
And what would that mean if you were more happy?
Well, I could be more generous spreading it rather than pretending it.
Okay, so I'd be generous. And why would you be more generous?
I try to give back a little bit.
Okay. If you were more generous, without trying, because we're not going to use words like try or I might, if you were more generous, what does it mean to be more generous? What does that mean for you? How would that feel to be a more generous person?
Well, I like to be kind and polite when I see people and go up to strangers and be friendly. And I try to help out in my community, and I like to be approachable to kids and not scare the old ladies away. So
okay, I'm hearing a lot of what you don't like and what you don't want to do.
Right. Well, I'm doing that now, but I'd like to be more successful at it.
Okay, so if you were successful, not more, because more is like a weird word to use, like I'm more this, more that. If you were successful, generous, happy, pain-free, what would that mean for your life?
I think I would come full circle.
And that would mean what?
Peace in my heart.
Okay, so Daniel, so we got
I would have more love for my fellow man.
I'd have more love. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So it's love you're after.
Loving myself first to help others love
because
them.
If you love yourself, you are what? If
you love yourself, what am I? If I love myself, well, I think it starts there. That's where everything starts. You can otherwise you're just dream. I mean, for me, I'm dreaming. If I'm not doing it than I'm dreaming about it, I guess.
But
I'd rather be doing it.
if you love yourself, you could be what? What would people describe you as if you're somebody that loves yourself and you're confident? What would you be?
Recovered.
I think you'd be confident. I would see confidence.
Confident, yes. Confident, yes.
I'd see you'd be an enrolling person. People would want to be around you.
Yes, yes, that would be nice.
You'll have more love in your life.
Yes, yes.
More connection.
Yeah, more connection, yes.
Awesome. Okay, thank you, Daniel.
Yes.
Okay. So see, we tend to not do this. We tend to not go deep into like, why do I want it? And what that's called is your driving core motivator. When we actually can attach a driving core motivator to what it is that you want to feel, you start getting really clear on where you want to go and you start taking those actions towards it. Things start to happen when you're very clear on that. Things like nothing gets in your way. Nothing gets in your way when you're clear on what it is that you want. You find ways. You find ways to pay for things. You find ways to make time for things. You find ways to have those conversations. You find ways to eat the way that you want. Things work out and happen when you're very clear on your vision. When you're not clear on your vision and you're still in trying, I have an out, everything gets in the way. We don't have money, we don't have time, we don't have the energy. You could validate either way. But when you're clear on what it is that you want and where you're going, you find a way. It will always work out. But the step that we tend to skip is that vision step. Like, why do I want it? What is it? And how am I going to feel when I get there? When you get clear on that, everything changes. Everything changes. Okay, I want to show you guys something. This was me 11 years ago. Can you see that picture? Okay, I just had my daughter. I'm 5'2", so let me preface that. I'm 5'2", I gained 60 pounds. 60. And it wasn't just because I was pregnant. You know, my daughter weighed 6 pounds when she was born, by the way. I remember asking the doctor, does the placenta weigh 55? Because she weighed 6 pounds. I gained 60 pounds more than I am right now. And that was because I ate French fries. I ate McDonald's chocolate sundaes with extra fudge. It's because I didn't feel like working out. I was depressed. I was in a bad marriage. I was going through a divorce. The stock market had crashed. The housing market had crashed. I was somebody who had lost everything. I had once been successful in corporate and I had lost everything. In fact, I went to go many of you can relate to being in debt or having something like that happen in your life. I went to go put my credit card in the gas station to fill up my car for gas and it was declined. It was American Express. I called them. I said, why is my credit card declined? I've never missed a payment. And I'll never forget this conversation. They said, you're $1.4 million in debt. How the heck was I $1.4 million in debt? I'll tell you how. I bought a house that I stretched myself into that I couldn't really afford because it was that time when everyone was buying houses, right? Now the economy crashed. So now I was backwards and I had to make a decision. I couldn't pay my mortgage. That ended up on my credit as being a huge debt. I was the worst time of my life. The worst time of my life. I was stuck. I had a million reasons that I should give up. But I had a driving core motivator, and that was my daughter. And I knew that that was not the example I was going to be for her. And I had another driving core motivator, and that's that I wanted to feel confident and happy again. And I wanted to be a leader and be, somebody that people wanted to be around. I didn't want to be that miserable person that I was feeling at that time. So I created a vision. Starting with a vision board and really doing some deep work on what do I want to be? How do I want to feel? This girl right here, who still looked like that months after having her, never in a million years thought that years later I'd be on this. I didn't know that. And if I had told anyone that then, they would have laughed at me. And they would have thought I was crazy. But I had a vision and I knew that I was going to make a shift. And I didn't know how I was going to get there or how I was going to fix it. I just knew I was clear on my vision. When you're clear on your vision, the how works itself out. Always. But you got to get really clear on that vision first. Okay, so how do we shift things? I'm going to give you some actual tools on how we start to shift these. So first of all, you recognize what is at risk if you don't fix this. And write this down, like what is at risk if you don't fix this? Because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some things. It's going to get worse. And let's be honest, it's going to get worse because we are getting older. Time is going by. Things get worse if we don't shift it. And the more we're getting older and going through life like this and letting it get worse, the more we're going to encounter people validating it. Because there's a lot more people out there that are ready to validate our depression and our sadness and our excuses than there are that are ready to help lift you up and see a greater thing in you. So things will get worse. So get clear on, if I don't fix this problem right now, it's going to get worse. The thing I want you to recognize is that you could be an entirely different person a year from now than you are right now today by changing just two things. Actually, I'm going to say three things. Number one, your thoughts. If you have different thoughts, you can become a very different person. I interviewed somebody recently on my podcast. I have a podcast called Leveling Up, for those that you don't know. And I interviewed him, and he's uber successful, like one of those people that makes like hundreds of millions of dollars, like ridiculous level of success. And I said, have you had failures in your life? And he said, no. I said, and I admitted, I thought, great, here we go. Okay, perfect life. You've got $100 million. You have this perfect life. And I said, you've had no failures. He said, it's all a matter of how you look at it and how you think about it. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, I was homeless living on the beach for a year. He said, but I was living on the beach for a year. I mean, what an interesting lesson. I mean, I get chills every time I tell that. He was homeless living on the beach, but instead of saying I'm homeless, he said I'm living at the beach. I mean, wow, that power in that. So thoughts, number one. Number two, your actions. By changing your actions, coupled with those thoughts, you can be an entirely different person. If you take different actions and have different thoughts, you're a different person. It's fail-proof. But how do you do that? That's number three. You got to surround yourself with the right people and the right information and the right tribe. Because if you stay in the same patterns of people validating the negative and the excuses and the what's not working, you don't get better. Some people don't like me, and I'm okay with that. And the reason that some people, I'm not gonna say a lot, I'm not gonna put that out there, but the reason some people don't like me is I'm fiercely direct. And I see people in their greatness. I see you all in your greatness, and I'm gonna be direct with people. I do not validate excuses. Me validating excuses sells out on you. If I say, you're right, you're big boned, or you're right, your thyroid's jacked, or you're right, you have bad genetics, or you're right, you're broke. Like if I say that to you, I am a sellout. I am not seeing you in your greatness, and that's not who you are. You're not those things. And if I say to you, you're right, you are those things, what chance do you have to get better? But if I believe in you and I see your potential and I see your greatness and your possibility, you've got something to work towards. And you could do that. Many of us don't have people believing in us. I don't talk to women that are 300 pounds. I see them as their size 8. I don't see you as the person in debt and broke. I see you in your greatness with an abundance of money, and that's who I'm talking to. So by changing your thoughts and your actions and who you're letting in your life, like who you're surrounding yourself with, who that tribe is, you can be an entirely different person. But I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not easy. Like it's work, it's a commitment. It is a commitment, and it's a rigorous commitment. It's a commitment like when you have a child and you say, I'm gonna be there for my child. It's a commitment like getting married. It's a commitment like showing up at your job. It is a commitment. Like I'm deciding that I'm going to be a different person, and this is what's happening. It takes those things. So by changing your thoughts and your actions and your tribe, you can be an entirely different person. Entirely different person. You know, I volunteer several times a year in transformational work. where I give back. I go into some deep work and I give back coaching and staffing for this for free, you know, for my, just to be in this work. And I watch people break through horrendous life experiences. Like, you can't even imagine what I've seen. Like, just horrendous abuse as a child, you know, domestic abuse. I'm just, like, I don't even want to horrible, horrible things. And I see them break through and become amazing inspirations. They get through the worst. Don't tell me that you can't drop this weight and live a better life. So you can change your entire self by deciding that you're going to shift those 3 things. You want some steps on how you can start doing this? Want some actual, like, actionable steps? Okay. And some of you that have heard me before and been in my classes before, you know this. So it's a good reminder. And I love that you show up again, because you know you have to live in it, right? You have to immerse yourself in it for it to stick. So you get committed. So number 1, you decide. That's the first step. Right now, today, we can make a big change by deciding. Like, decide that this is your last stop. Like, I'm done with all of the stuff I wrote on that first question I asked. I'm done. Decide. Don't even let it enter your brain that that is not an option. So like Daniel, when you said to me, I'm going to try, I'm going to hope not to, like, no, decide. This is it. This is happening. It's done. This is my year. 2019, this is happening. I'm done with the excuses. I'm done. Number 2, declare it. We don't declare it. We decide kind of, and then we say, well, I'll try. I'm not gonna tell anyone, because then I have to do it. That's a big mistake. Tell everyone. So it's about declaring it. You've got to declare it. How do you declare it? Start with one person. If you're really bold, post it on your Facebook, whatever, just get out there. You know, I'm at 47 years old, I decided that I'm tired of my hip flexors feeling tight, okay? I complain about my hip flexors being tight all the time. Now, I can give you a million reasons why they're tight. Like, scientifically, I had a disc rupture out of my back. So yeah, I have no disc between L5 and S1. So that's why my hip flexors are tight. They're taking a lot of work. I can enroll all of you in why my hip flexors are tight right now, and you would be like, I get it, your hip flexors are tight. But you know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna fix it. So what's the opposite of a hip flexor being tight? Would be having it stretched out. So I decided I'm gonna learn to do the splits. I can't do the splits yet, but I'm like, I'm gonna learn to do the splits. I don't know how, but I'm going to do it. And I not only told, like, my friends, my family, everyone, I went on, like, Instagram and Facebook and told 3 million people I'm gonna learn the splits. So what happens when I tell 3 million people I'm gonna learn how to do the splits? What do you think happens every day? I get to practice doing the splits, right? Because if I don't, it's not gonna happen. I declared it. So my God, it's happening. I'll be on the Zooms, I'll be coaching, doing the splits, practicing. And I do it every single day. I've missed one day since I decided this 3 weeks ago. I'm not there yet. I don't know how I'm getting there, but I'm getting there. So you declare it. Number 3, you're driving for a motivator. That thing, that exercise we just went through, going 10 levels deep on your why, like, why do I want it? Why do I want it? Get really clear on that driving core motivator. Critical. With your driving core motivator, get crystal clear with that daggone vision. Like, get laser clear with it. I took you through some questions at the beginning of this. You can use those. But go deep on this. Like, what is your vision? What is it that you want? You know, my very first vision board I made, I wasn't in fitness. I wasn't doing anything with that. I wasn't on the cover of magazines at the time. I was overweight, depressed, and broke. And I put fit girls. I put beach. I put pictures of golf courses. I put, like, a happy couple. I put stuff on this vision board that I was not living yet, because I thought if I can look at that and I can feel it, I can move towards it. So I was really clear on what I wanted. And let me tell you, every vision board I've ever made, everything's come to fruition on it, because I got clear on what I was working towards. My most recent vision board, let me try to turn this and show you. This is my most recent vision board. Can you see this right here? Okay, I made that several months ago. One of the things that's on there is I decided I wanted to go to Australia. So I put pictures of Australia. I didn't know how I was going to Australia or when or how that was going to come to fruition, but I was like, I'm going to Australia. So I put it on there. I happened to be a couple days later being interviewed for a show. And the guy interviewing me was from Australia. And we're talking and we're chatting, and we have a great connection, and he says, hey, you should come to my event that's coming up in a couple weeks. I said, where is it? He said, Sydney, Australia. I'm now clear I wanted to go to Australia, right? So my instant how goes to, well, I can't get to Australia in 3 weeks, and how am I gonna go? Everything goes, like, how am I have clients, and I have this, and I have that, and I have a daughter. But it was on my vision. And you know what? I ended up in Australia. Like literally 3 weeks later, I'm in Australia on this thing because I was so clear on my vision, and it all worked out. I didn't lose any clients. My daughter was fine. It all worked out. Not because it was woo-woo and it just happened, but the opportunity presented itself, and I was now very clear on what I wanted. So get clear on your vision. Next is be very selective and rigorous about who you let in your life and what information you take in. Like, draw a line in the sand right now. Like, who is in my life? Who am I letting in? What am I listening to? What am I reading? Be rigorous with that. One reason I started my own podcast, I'll plug it again for those of you who don't know, Leveling Up. Well, the one reason I started my podcast is I listen to podcasts all the time, but I felt like I wasn't getting answers that I wanted, that the hosts were not asking. So I started my own. I'm like, I'm gonna start my own so I can have my own interviews and control what I'm getting in. So I'm very selective on the information I take in. You get to be that same way. If you scroll social media and people are making you feel bad about yourself, like, stop following them. If you've got friends that you get off the phone with them and you don't feel uplifted and good, why are you friends with them? If you're miserable going into your job every day, why are you working there? Like, get really into, like, what am I letting in? I have not watched the news in 10 years. 10 years. I don't care if people think that's crazy of me. I'm happy. I don't need to know what's happening in some city that's nowhere near me that I can't control. Why am I letting that in? Get rigorous with the information you're letting in. And make sure you are surrounded with a tribe of people that support and uplift you and see you at your highest. And start owning that. Next, push yourself in an environment and experiences that last and stick. I'm gonna give you an example. When I've done my breakthrough weekends, and I've done 3 and I'm about to do the next 2, the reason those are so powerful for women is because you are in an environment focused on you for 3 days. Like, it's you and other women focused on you for 3 days. And you remember experiences. Like, if you think back to, like, vacations you've taken or big events in your life, you can remember exactly where you are, how you felt, who you were talking to, what you were with, and those are things that stick. When you just, like, read something or listen to something for an hour, or you're multitasking while you're doing it, it's very hard for that to fully stick. But when you can put yourself in an experience, you're going to remember it. It sticks forever. So think about, how can I put myself in experiences where I'm gonna remember this? Like, can I have groups of women together that I'm working out with? How can I take a trip with friends? Like, what can I do to put myself in an experience so this stuff sticks? The next thing, small steps forward every day. You know, Tony Robbins talks about taking massive action, which, yeah, he's right. If you take massive action on anything, you're gonna get results. No question, all the time. However, most of us do not take massive action. We think about it, but what do? We go, oh, that's a lot. I can't, that's a lot, that's too much. I can't change my eating, change my workout, change my this, change my, I can't do all that. So we don't do anything. And then we just watch people on Instagram and go, oh, I wish I could do that, right? Come on, be honest, who does that? I've done it. So I'm gonna say, don't take massive action. Take little steps. What's one step you could do at any moment to get better than you were yesterday? One step forward every moment makes you better and stronger than yesterday. One step at a time. One decision at a time. Don't worry about the how. Don't worry about the full, long, like all the stuff you have to do. One decision, one step at a time gets you over there. one step at a time. And then finally, get yourself some coaches and mentors. You could do this you can find them for free. You can find them for free is Google, podcasts, books, or invest in yourself. You know, when you hire a coach or you pay for an event, that's not for the event or the person. I want to be really clear. It's investing in yourself. Something happens when you invest in yourself. Let me share, between Brooks and I, and nobody ever has extra money just laying around. Like if you're like, do you have extra whatever laying around? No, nobody ever does. I just want to share that him and I together, in this last year, we spent over $150,000 in coaching for us. $150,000. I want you to think about that. I don't have gobs of money coming in. I don't have extra $150,000 sitting around, but we invest year after year in our own coaching to up-level us. And it's an investment in ourselves, because when you invest, you make changes. You've now invested in yourself. Why do we invest in other things but not ourselves? Think about that. Invest in yourself. Really key. Okay, I'm going to open it up for questions in a minute, in just a second, and then I want to share. I've given you a ton of tools right now. I hope you found value in this. I've given you a ton of tools. A couple things. You could jump off and apply everything that I've taught you right now and go deeper, and you've got tools to get things started, and I wish you an amazing 2019. You can stay on and stick around and ask some questions, and I'm going to be here. And I'm also going to be sharing an opportunity. I want to be upfront with you about my next 2 breakthrough weekends that are happening in San Diego, because I only have 20 spots total for these. So I'm going to share about that and answer questions on that and everything else. So it's your choice. I just wanted to let you know so you don't feel like I'm changing directions. Like, you're more than welcome to jump off, or you can stay on, and I'm going to open it up for questions and talk about that. So let's start with a couple questions. Any questions coming up? Raise your hand if you've got one. Let's see. Kathy, is that a question? I just unmuted you. Or did you have it up from before with the sound? Kathy? I can't hear her. Let's see. I see Galaxy Sky Pro. It doesn't say a name. Do you have a question? Laying there with the blue shirt. I see you. No? Question?
No.
Okay, got it. Okay, I just saw a hand up. I just wanted to make sure there's no questions. Let's see. Let me just scroll. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Hi, Christine. I see you. Verge, you have a question? Hi. I think you're unmuted. Go ahead, Verge. Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, perfect. Hi. Well, it's so good to be on here.
Thanks for being on.
It's just how do you stay motivated?
Yes.
I mean, one day I get up and I'm doing this and I'm on it and I feel great, maybe a week, maybe a couple of weeks. And then before I knew it, I'm back to where I was before. Yeah.
You know, it's first of all, thank you for asking that question. How stops all of us? And it's going to take a change of thinking here, but and I do it too, Verge, I do it all the time. So my husband and I catch each other in this. I always go to how. We as humans go to how. And the problem with how is we start analyzing and then things just never happen. They just don't. So let me give you, I love giving this car example. I don't know if you've ever heard me give this before, but if you get in a car and I say, if you're in California and you get in the car and I say, we're going to meet in New York, you would figure out how to get there. There's a lot of hows. You could pull up navigation. You could drive to an airport and fly. You could ask people along the way. You could get out of your car and take a bus. You could take a train. There's a lot of hows you'd still get to the other side of the country, right? You can agree to that. But you're clear where you're going. There's lots of hows. So, but if instead I said, hey, get in your car, you're gonna drive and use a map, but I never tell you exactly where you're going. You're gonna get really stuck on, but how am I doing this? And how do I turn this on? And where am I going? We're gonna get really stuck on that. But when you're very clear on where you want to go, the how reveals itself. Now, that doesn't mean there's not steps, Verge. There are steps and there are formulas. But the first step is you get clear on the vision and you let yourself go to what it is that you want first.
Right. I would say I'm not driving because I hate to travel by car.
Okay.
So that's out.
Yeah.
I'm going to book a flight.
Yeah, so you book a flight. You get there. You figure it out. Yeah, you figure it out. So with the same thing with what you want, and I don't know what you wrote down for all of your stuff, but if you were on the whole call.
Right.
But you want to really go deep on that. Like, okay, what is this that I wrote down that I want? Keep stopping your head from the how initially.
Right.
Okay. Was it risk if I don't fix this?
Right.
Okay. Then those things that I just went through, I'm going to decide it. These are first, before you go to the how, deciding it. This is happening. I'm declaring it. I'm telling everyone I know, this is happening.
Right.
These steps first. This is the how. You do these steps first. You get clear on your vision. You decide, I'm changing my thoughts and my actions, which includes, I'm not going to get caught up in why this hasn't worked before. You change those thoughts. Then when you start taking the actions, then you start listing out, okay, what are my options for doing this? But you can't do the how steps until you're clear on that vision. You can't do it. Let me tell you, I'll give you an example because I'm about to talk about breakthrough. I've never, ever had somebody apply for my breakthrough weekend and say, oh yeah, I have an extra $6,000. Here you go. Never. It's never happened. Not once, ever. I don't care if someone makes $1 million and they make $10,000 a year. They've never once said, here you go, I have an extra $6,000. But what they have said is, I don't know how it's happening, but it's happening. Like, I'm here, I am going, I am there, I envision myself there. This is happening. And they figure it out. They figure it out and they get results. And I'll tell you, several of my clients, she's not on here right now, but actually I'm going to show you guys. I have her picture right here. I'm going to show you some pictures of some of the women at my last breakthrough. But she won't care if I tell you this because she's been at these. I'm going to show you Nicole and Susanna. So this is Nicole. This was her when she attended a call like this with me. This is her a year later. Okay? Nicole did not have the money, the time, or the how. She decided this was happening for her. This is her now.
Wow, beautiful.
I mean, really.
Progress.
Like, you can find her on social media. She will tell you. This is Susanna. Many of you know her. This was her. She's a grandma. This is her now, a year later. She sat on a call just like this and said, she said, I don't know how I'm going to a breakthrough weekend. I don't have any extra money right now. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how, but it's happening. She declared it. She decided it. She said, this is happening. She has tripled her income this year and lost the weight. So it's not that you don't get a how, but you get to decide first what your vision is and declare it and do all of that first. And then there's lots of help. Whether somebody works with me at my breakthrough weekend or they work with me on, a free challenge I've done, I'm going to still ask, what is your vision before I ever give you the tools? Because I got to get enrolled in your vision first. I got to know, like, you're serious, you're declaring, you're deciding. And I have clients, I'm going to be real. I have clients that don't get results. And I'll tell you, not one of them has ever blamed me. They don't blame me. They say, you gave me all the tools. I didn't fully decide. That's what happens all the time. I have more success than I have not success. But I have women, and I'm not going to call them forth right now, but they're nodding their heads right now. They know. They will not blame me. They say, I did not listen. I didn't decide. I let those self-imposed stops. I let those false and truths take over. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just want you to recognize. That's why I had you do this exercise on where are we starting from? Where are we starting from? So I'm gonna tell you about, and I'm gonna still take questions. I'm gonna tell you what Breakthrough Weekend is, just so you are clear. So if it is an option, you can apply, okay? And so my favorite thing to do ever is get women together in small groups, like live. Like, I love talking with you on Zoom right now. This is so much more fun than it is on social media because I can see you, interact with you. I love it. But even better when you're like literally with me, sitting next to me. So I've done 3 before. 2 were in my home. 1 we did at a resort. I'm taking these next 2 back to my home because I really like that intimacy. And I want you to like literally be with me. I do these small groups. I'm doing 2 this year, only 2, 10 women each. And I'm capping it at 10 women each. I'm really adamant about that. I think more than that, it's just too many. We had a great group of 16 once. I like it when it's 10, we can be in the same conversation. So I'm picky, I'm not gonna lie. I don't take everyone. There is an application process and a phone call. So if you apply, there's no obligation. You apply, that just means we look at it. Brooks and I look at it. We do a phone call with you. I do that because one, you're coming in my home, and two, I want to make sure that I'm matching the right people together. So I'm really picky about that, and I want to have like everyone have a great experience. So that's why I do that. And if I don't accept you, I still love you. I really am picky about that. And people that have been to breakthroughs before always have first priority. So to get in on another spot. What we do with these breakthrough weekends, it's 3 days. You come in day one. You have dinner at my home. I have an amazing chef. He's good looking and he's yummy. He's yummy food. And he teaches us as he goes. He comes in, he cooks for us. We have a really fun night doing that, learning, bonding, connecting. The next 2 days, we're gonna go deep. It's a full emergence. So not only are we gonna have fun, eat healthy, work out together, all that, but we go deep. We do some work to really shift your thinking and create a vision for moving forward. And it doesn't stop there. We're wrapping 3 months of coaching around this. So when you do this, you're gonna have 3 months of just a small group with me and Brooks. And we're gonna go deep. And those of you that don't know Brooks yet, he's amazing. Different style than me. We complement each other really well with this. And he is who, if you fill out an application, you'll be talking to first, because he's gonna really understand what's holding you back and get there. So this is like a 3-month full emergence with the retreat. You'll also have access, some of you already have Full Body Reset, but if you don't, you get access to Full Body Reset, which is a 6-week program, so you'll be able to start like right away on the mindset, the nutrition, all that. Mara, is the 3-day workshop open to international? Absolutely. So anyone can come to it, but just so you know, your flight is on your own and your hotel, like where you're staying, I'll tell you where to stay, ideas, but that is on your own. But all your food, all the activities is fully covered. All of that happens here with us, and you're with us. And because it's a full emergence, like you're here in the experience, and it's like, this sticks. And we're really committed. Like we're wrapping the 3 months of group coaching because I really want this to stick for you guys. So if you are all interested, apply. Somebody can type the link, or it's www, you have to put the www.nataliejillfitness.com/apply. And you can fill that out. It's gonna ask you, I think we've got about 10 questions on there, just as much as you're willing to share on that, it helps us. It has the price on there, which is $59.97. And it doesn't have like a sales page or anything. And we do have a payment plan option. So please don't let that hold you back. If you're having a story about I can't afford it, nobody ever has extra money laying around. I promise you, no one has ever come to Breakthrough and said, wow, I paid too much. Like it's never happened. It's never happened. It's not gonna happen. This is the lowest I could do it, where it feels like it's an investment in you, and I can make this a first-class experience for you. I want you to have fun. I want you to have an awesome experience with this. I want it to be an unforgettable experience. It would be at my house in San Diego. Even if you've been in my breakthroughs before, you have not been to this house, you're gonna love where I live now. It's beautiful over here. It's very private. It's gonna be a really fun weekend. So I would love to see you. So if you're all interested, please apply. We're going to be going through the rest of the applications. We have about 22 applications, I think, so far. So we're looking through all those. And I only have 20 spots total. And like I said, if you went to Breakthrough before, you have first priority. Let's see. Okay, I want to take questions about anything, about Breakthrough, about anything that we talked about today. Any questions while you have me? I'm going to scroll through. Just raise your hand if you've got any, and I'll make sure I answer. And if some of you are, let's see. Any questions? Any questions? No questions? I've never done a call out question. Oh, I see. Kathy. Hi, Kathy. Whoops. Let me lower your hand. Oh, hi, Kathy.
Hi, Natalie.
Hi.
I'm from South America, Guyana, so that might be kind of hard for me to join in unless if.
Well, it would be challenging, but like I told you, I got to Australia in a very short time frame. I made it happen. So okay. It would be challenging. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. And I'm sure even with time change, we would figure out like to make, it's only 10 people in a small group. So how do we do the group coaching? We would make it work so everybody's feeling part of that.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah, so it's up to you. Now, if you really can't go to my breakthrough weekend, I have other things that will help you. I'm not gonna leave you hanging. I have things in all price ranges, things. This experience is like a first class, whole different level. So it's an opportunity, and that's why I'm sharing this. And because I have limited spot in it, It's like it's the Ferrari of it all. So, but yeah, if there's a will, there is a way, Kathy. So if you want to make it happen, apply, you can make it happen. You can come be in San Diego with us.
All right, I can.
Yeah, maybe it'll be so amazing that you'll end up hosting one where you live, and I'll come. Maybe that one. That could be on your vision. Amazing.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Maria, I see you. Hi, Maria. Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi.
Oh, you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So yesterday I joined your chat that you had, and you made me think a lot.
Good.
And my vision is not where it needs to be at. I'm not happy where I'm at now. And I know you said, it's like, how I made my comment. I do want to change for health reasons.
Yes.
And mainly just for me.
Yeah.
And you made me think so much last night. I went to a workout. That's why I was late to join the meeting. I enjoy working out, but my food is not where it needs to be at.
Yeah.
I need to work more on my food, and that's what I want to do. Like, not even on New Year's Day, but before.
Good. Yeah. I hate when people say New Year's Day I'm making a change. Like, just decide right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's like that's exactly what I need to do. Is this gonna be on so I can go back and listen to it again?
Yeah, I recorded this whole thing, so I'm gonna as soon as we're done, I'll upload it to YouTube, and we'll send out a link so you can watch the whole replay. So yes, you'll be able to get on this at any time and listen.
Okay.
I just wouldn't be able to answer questions from it because it's recorded. And I've yet to figure out how to record it where I'm like big, so you see the whole class when it's recorded. I'm sorry, I'm not a great technical person at this point. So I will send this out. So if you signed up for this class on email, I'm going to send an email with the replay.
Okay, I did.
Yeah,
I did. And my question is for somebody like myself, that struggles. I get discouraged, and like I know what I want, and I get discouraged because the results are not coming fast enough. What's gonna help me to stay consistent? Like, 'cause I know I'm not consistent.
Yeah. Okay. The first thing that's going to help is stop saying I'm not consistent. Like, you're going to start saying the opposite to yourself. I am consistent. I'm consistent. Like, you say it till you believe it. I am consistent. This is happening. This is happening. It's happening. I'm consistent. And you do it by these tips. When you re-listen to the replay, I don't know where you jumped on or were not on, but I took you through like actual steps you could start applying. And you also do it by putting yourself in experiences and environments that are going to remind you of your declaration of what it is that you want.
Okay.
And you don't allow room for anything else. Like, la, 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 I don't hear it. I don't see it. Like, you guys, have you seen the movie? Oh my gosh, what is that movie called? With the one, the spinning one. Liana, do you know what it's called? What is, I Feel Pretty. So go get the movie, watch it on Netflix, I Feel Pretty. It is so good. For those of you that haven't seen it, it's a total chick flick. But for those of you that haven't seen it, she literally, she bumps her head. It's Amy Schumer. She's overweight and not feeling good. She bumps her head, and she wakes up, and she thinks she's a supermodel. Like, no one else.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, no one else.
I have seen it. Oh, my God, yes.
But she thinks she's a supermodel, and her whole life changes because she believes that she's a supermodel. It's amazing. Yeah. But it's so true. Like, we project what we're feeling.
Yes, she has so much confidence in.
Yeah, but it was just a belief set that changed. So you have that power at any given time, Maria. You have that.
Okay. I don't want to, one of the things that you mentioned is like, you're right. After because I'm 43.
Yeah.
And you say, like, oh, I'm comfortable. This is not comfortable. Where I'm at now, it's not comfortable.
No, I get it.
So it's like, you think you have your mindset. I think my mindset was like, well, I'm 43, this is happening, but no, I see a lot of 43 that look, really hot. And I'm like, wait, hold on. I can look like that.
Girlfriend, you're a spring chicken compared to me. I'm 47. Okay.
I know you said that. I was like, wow.
You can do this. It's a decision.
Okay.
Thank you,
I'm going to say thank you.
Thank you. Maria, are you raising your hand, Sandy? Hi, Sandy. Whoops. Hi. Whoops. We're on mute each other at the same time. I like how you Go. Go.
Sorry about that. I just so I'm one of the people that has been with Natalie for a year and haven't seen the success that I'm going to see this year because I didn't go deep and I wasn't willing to until recently, and that shift has been amazing. So
I love that.
Yeah, you have to go deep and you have to be uncomfortable. You have to be vulnerable. And if you're willing to do it, you're going to get the change in your mindset, and then everything else will just come into place.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Sandy. And Sandy can probably attest to Brooks and why I have him in the equation too. We are very different types of coaches. We complement each other. And I really feel that some people you need a combination. So he goes deeper. He does the deep work. For those of you that apply, you'll talk with Brooks. You'll see. He's, I'm going to help you take action. That's for sure. Yes. He's going to go deep and we're going to heal. And that's where the breakthroughs happen. So yeah, thank you for sharing, Sandy. And she also had fun at Breakthrough. Did you not have fun?
I had an amazing time. It was a true gift to myself and lifelong friends.
Yes. Thank you, Sandy. Yeah. Any more questions? Or hi, Burge.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Is the fee for the Breakthrough all inclusive?
It's all inclusive for your food, for the 3 months of coaching and all the things we're doing there, but your flight and your hotel would be on your own. And what I'm going to do is if you're accepted in, I'll send out like a whole bunch of different hotel options nearby with price ranges, all of that.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so you'd want to plan for that. But it's 3 months of coaching. I want to make sure I'm clear about that because that is not just the weekend. Oh, the weekend itself is totally worth that and more, but you also are going to have the 3 months of coaching and the full body reset that you get. Which, by the way, full body reset, my full body reset program, which is a stable program, which was always $297, I believe. It goes up to $500 January 1. So that is included in this too. Okay. Thank you. Any more questions? Let's see. Just scroll. I see a couple of you ladies that have been at my breakthroughs. Hi, Jen. Awesome. No more questions? Last chance. Forever Hold Your Peace. All right, ladies, thank you. So that link is, we typed it in, but it's www.nataliejillfitness.com/apply. If you're thinking about it, apply. It doesn't hurt. We'll review the application. Like I said, we already have, I think, 22 applications. We only have 20 spots. I do expect to get a lot more this weekend because I am talking about it a lot right now on social media and different platforms. And I want to be able to start that group coaching. So I want to wrap that up and who's in it sooner rather than later. So yeah, awesome. Thank you, ladies. Bye.